All right, so the last time we spoke about crude oil, it was here, and this was at a time when Trump just bombed Iran. People were afraid crude oil was rallying, and people were saying that we're going into World War III. And I was looking at this and I was like, I don't see how this thing continues higher. I mean, it could, but the charts indicated to me that it might not go higher. So I was of the idea that it goes back to the downside right here. Now, after the downside, oil has now gone back up, leaving a gap at about $67 to $69. So where will this thing finally go, and what will it mean for us? Let's dig in. Now, as you already know, we in the crypto markets and even those in the stock markets don't want higher energy prices. I mean, even just normal people don't want to pay more for their energy. So it going up is not great for anybody because it makes everything else more expensive. In fact, the only people that stand to gain the most from this are those that have the energy. So we're talking about the likes of Russia. Yesterday, I saw a post, and this is sort of unverified, by the way. I did not put a lot of scrutiny to it, but it just goes to show because Trump said that India can purchase Russian oil for about 30 days. So they have like a 30-day pass, and they can purchase Russian oil without any risk of tariffs. So Russia can actually make a lot of money in 30 days. So this is good for anybody that has the energy. Just like when the crypto markets are going up, it is mostly good for those that have the crypto. Yeah. So from a crypto perspective, we don't want this going up because it makes things more expensive for everybody. And the money that they will be using to buy their energy will be the money that they could have potentially invested in crypto. So that's the reason why we are mostly oil bears, if not all the times. Even without crypto, well, we need energy. I mean, you have a car or perhaps you have taxis and stuff. So if this thing just continues to go to the upside, even your normal transportation, day-to-day transportation will become more expensive. So just about anybody or everybody don't want more expensive or higher energy prices. All right, so where is this thing headed? What would be the main resistance zone we can point out as we did back here? Well, for now, what we can prove for this thing is somewhere around 113 to $122. This is the main resistance zone where I cannot see higher. Now, again, it's not to say that it cannot go higher. What we are saying is, given the data that we have right now, that's the highest we can see. As price evolves, perhaps the forecast can change, but for now, that's the main resistance zone. Now, you might be asking, what then is this zone right here? Well, that zone is just a minor resistance zone before the main resistance zone. And this zone right here spans from about $91 to somewhere around $99. Inside of this zone right here, price can still top out. So you can still have a situation where this thing comes back to the downside like so. But I will not be too confident that it will do that. Even though it's using this zone right here now as resistance, I wouldn't be too sure about it. The reason why I wouldn't be too sure is not because of the war, it's actually because of this particular wave right here. Yeah, this right here is a third wave, and they are mostly very powerful and they last for some time. So to bet against the trend right here and say that this thing is just going to crash like so is not a trade I would take. Now, can it happen? Yes. It can happen where this thing comes to the downside here, bounces somewhere around here because the support zone there will be between $72 to $67. It can come back here, bounce here, and go back to the upside like so to the maximum resistance zone. But I would not be betting against the trend right here. Now, one more thing to note is that here on the weekly time frame, we can actually see that the RSI is overvalued. Now, that's kind of a very high point right there. The last time we were up here was back in 2022. So significant development. So yeah, this is just the maximum I can see for oil. Again, it's possible that we top out here. Just not what I would be betting on. But this is the maximum zone right here. And what this tells me for, the real world is that the war between the United States, Israel, and Iran may not actually go on for as long as some people may believe. Perhaps it just ends in weeks or days even.